This is the method to become a more spontaneous and fun person. Make sure to watch through to the end and apply each of the steps that I'm going to teach you, because if you follow these steps all the way through, you are going to start to feel spontaneity flowing through you. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and like this video, and let's get into it. First rule to the method of being spontaneous: you have to have plans and at very least ideas. Now let me explain this. Spontaneity is somewhere in between plans and ideas. You can't really have spontaneity. You can't just be spontaneous if you don't have any direction or any movement already going. You can't change your plans if you don't have them. You can't pursue other opportunities if you're not pursuing anything in the first place. And so if you want to be truly spontaneous, you got to get better at heading in a direction and keeping your eyes open. Because if you're heading in a direction but you're so tunnel vision, super duper focused on where you're going, you're never going to look outside of these parameters and have that spontaneity. So it's important to understand that you have to have direction. You have to be moving in order to change directions. You can't have a car change direction just by turning the steering wheel if it's stopped in a parking lot. You have to move forward and then turn the wheel before the car will turn. And that's the same thing with being spontaneous. Some things that you can do to get better at this is set a day every single week that is your planning day. And if you can do this on a daily basis, you'll probably be even more spontaneous. But at very least, try to get yourself one day a week. For me, it's my Sundays. Those are my planning days. Those are my days where I can collect myself for my week. It's outside of work, it's outside of other cares, and it's just a day to just recenter and to realign myself. In this planning session, let me give you an idea of what that looks like. In this planning session, I will lay out all the things that I already have scheduled. And this will help to show me vacancies where I can add a little bit more of life, of creativity, of spunk and fun. And so on Wednesday, I'll see that, oh, I only have these things required of me. And so I'm able to put in something during this chunk of time that will be more exciting. That is a perfect time, the perfect weather for my wife and I to take a trip down to the beach and to spend a day there, to do whatever. And while we're there, who knows, maybe there will be a hot dog stand that we can change course a little bit. Or maybe there will be an ice cream shop or whatever, where we can continue to make decisions after we're already on that direction. Something else that will actually directly correlate to how spontaneous and fun you are is the amount of time that you allow yourself to be creative. Because without creativity, you're not able to come up with those ideas that alter the plans or shift the plans and redirect yourself. And so you need to work on your creativity. Certain ways that you can do this today are to spend time thinking, writing, and just coming up with fun ideas. Spend time, maybe even during your planning session, to come up with fun ideas of things that you could pull from in the future. And do this regularly enough, even on your weekly, maybe daily basis, so you're practicing those muscles of creativity. Creativity is something that is ingrained in every single one of us. We are human beings. We have DNA of creativity within ourselves. Our parents' parents have all created life and created cities and nations and economies and so many things that have been created. Creativity is in your DNA. And so if you don't think you're a creative person, you just haven't fully engaged that skill yet, because it's in all of us. It's a natural piece of who you are. So if you want to get better at it, you're going to have to get your boots on the ground and actually implement it. For example, take it like you're exercising your muscles, right? You can't just say, I'm going to be buffer today. You can't just do that. You got to actually put in the work to train the muscles, to hit the bench press, to hit the push-ups, and allow your muscles to be used so that they can be torn, so that they can repair themselves and grow. If we translate this over to your creativity, you have to do things that are engaging that creativity, and that's imagination, it's exploring ideas. And so a great way to do this is mind mapping. Write down things on a paper and just keep writing down things that come to your mind. You don't have to filter them, just let them come out however they come, and start letting them create a pathway and connect them to each other, how they relate, how they don't relate, until you find yourself going into a place that excites you. And when you find a place that excites you, I think that's where creativity really gets its fuel. When you're in that state of excitement, of enjoyment, you're in a state where you are able to produce and also be creative. Have you ever heard of writer's block or artist block, where they can't come up with something creative, where they feel that pressure, they've got their deadline, and they have to come up with an article for the paper coming up? Well, writer's block is basically when you get in your own head, where you start to feel the pressures outside of you, and those start to impede how you feel, how you think. And when your thoughts change, your emotions change, and in result, your actions change. And so if you can tune in to excitement, if you can tune in to creativity, to all these things that put yourself in a natural state of flow, where you're able to do things in a productive manner, in a fun way, man, you're setting yourself up for some really good success. There are things that you can do to get yourself into that state. So the first thing that you can do to get yourself into a productive state that will actually get you into a positive state is gratitude. This is such a powerful mindset shift that changes the chemicals in your brain. It changes the outlook of life, and in turn, it changes your thoughts. And when you change those thought patterns, your emotions start to follow that. When you begin to think grateful thoughts, when you start to think, I'm grateful for the sky, for the trees, for the mountains, you start to realize, wow, these are such amazing things in my life that I may have taken for granted. When you begin to have that gratitude makes actual changes in your brain. That thinking process then changes your thoughts, and those thoughts then change your feelings, which change your actions and your behavior. And so when you start to say, man, I'm grateful for the sky, I'm grateful for the sun, that change is a thought, and that change changes your feelings, and you start to feel that gratitude for that thing. But then that feeling produces more productive thoughts, like, oh, I want to go spend time out in the sun. And then you change your pathway just by changing that thought, which altered your feelings, which altered your thought patterns, which then altered your behavior and your actions, which changed your course of direction. Do you see how that works together? Do you see how a little bit of gratitude has the power to give you more creativity? And that creativity allows you to have more spontaneity and fun and life that you're able to take a hold of out of life? It's all connected. If you want to be a more spontaneous person, you got to start doing these things. A, start planning. B, start being creative. Do the things to help your creative muscles get stronger. Spend time thinking, imagining, exploring ideas, ideation. Allow these to be part of your schedule. And when you have ideas, those sometimes conscious, sometimes non-conscious ideas that flicker into your mind, try to be more conscious of them. Because once you start to become conscious of them, you can take notes of them. Be like, oh, that's an idea. And rather than thinking, oh, that's an idea, letting it fly away and be lost for a long time, maybe forever, write it down. Send yourself a mental note. Send yourself a text message of what that reminder was. And remind yourself of that idea, because it came to you for a reason. It had enough value to resonate with your conscious mind for even just a split second before it was either chosen to let go of or to be written down and preserved. But the more you preserve your ideas, the better you're going to get at recognizing the ideas as they come. So these are a couple ways that you can become a more spontaneous person. Be fun, full of life, and really get more life out of life. Get more living out of life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I provide these free videos for you because I actually enjoy sharing this stuff. And if you found value out of this, subscribe, and I'm going to keep putting out more content. So stay tuned for the upcoming episodes, the upcoming videos. Thanks so much for watching.